Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Earlier today, the final Learfield Directors' Cup standings were released. The Directors' Cup shows how strong of a year an athletic department had by giving points to each sport depending on where you finished. Nebraska placed 22nd overall, its best finish since a 17th place showing in 2010, and it's the second straight top 30 finish for the Huskers. Nebraska was one of 5 Big Ten teams in the top 25, joining Ohio State at 11, Michigan at 15, Penn State at 23, and Wisconsin at 25. Nebraska had 7 programs record top 10 finishes this past year, including volleyball, women's soccer, bowling, men's gymnastics, rifle, wrestling, and women's outdoor track and field. Husker baseball pitcher Brett Sears earned another accolade today as D1 Baseball named Sears a second-team All-American. The second-team All-American honor is the highest by an NU starting pitcher since Aaron Marsden in 2003. And finally, the NBA draft begins tonight from the Barclays Center as the Atlanta Hawks hold the number 1 pick in the draft. The Wizards, Rockets, Spurs, and Pistons round out the top 5. The draft begins tonight at 7 on ESPN. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here come the Razorbacks, bumping over the left. Gillen, she's stopped. Rick Allen, block number 11 for the team 16. They're body bumping in Lincoln.
Dillon turns, hands it off to Dowdell, left side, bounces to the outside, 40, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Dante Dowdell.
Shelley throws down low. Markowski kicks it out to Jazz, knocked away by Marshall. 7 to shoot, 6 to shoot. Shelley for 3. You betcha! Huskers take their first lead of the game with 30 seconds left.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Breaking ball outside corner. Make it an even 10 for McConaughey, and the Hoosiers leave 2 more here in the top of the 7th.
Now the 3-2, and Bretwell swings and hammers it deep center field. She's gone! Home run, Eva Bretwell, and a 2-0 lead for the Cornhuskers.
Tominaga with 9, 8, 7, starts down the right side, goes to the right sideline, 4 seconds, step back, 30-footer. Got it! Unbelievable! I don't believe what I just saw. Tominaga knocks it home.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are with our Hump Day edition, and if you want your money back, I guess we'll have to give it. No Jeremiah tonight. We gave him the night off, so it's the OGs, right? Greg and Jessica with you tonight. The big dog needed a day off, so we'll bring the big dog back tomorrow.
Yes, he will be back tomorrow, so I know he's had a good time. It's been party central around here, but we had a lot lined up tonight, so he said, hey, just take the night off, and we'll get back to you tomorrow.
Go get whatever that ice cream dish you described to us last night, Jeremiah.
Chocolate, peanut butter, Reese's, a bunch of stuff. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. I gained 5 pounds listening to him describe the darn thing. Jessica, how quiet has it been about the NBA draft being here in about an hour? It's like, and again, there's no Husker that's going to be up for this tonight, so maybe we're not locally. I know there's some Creighton players that probably will hear their name called tonight, but it seems pretty quiet on the draft. And maybe that's because there's not really a clear-cut number 1 guy that's like a LeBron, Kobe-type franchise-changing player in the draft. Maybe that's why it's been pretty quiet.
Yeah, it's amazing. And you think about the comparison between the WNBA draft and how much hype there was surrounding that, and we knew all about it. And yes, we were watching for Jazz, but just this probably be the first time in the history that the WNBA draft was probably bigger, more publicized than the NBA draft.
I think it probably is.
So, which, I mean, again, is great for the sport, great for women's sports, but I don't know if it's like, because there's the Olympic trials are going on. I've been locked in on that, watching the swimming and track and all of that. I have not been as dialed in to the NBA draft this year.
Yeah, it starts in about an hour. We'll kind of track it for you all in hour number 2 of the show. One of the biggest stories in college sports has been this Jim Schlossnagle, the Texas A&M head baseball coach, played for the title in Omaha just a couple of days ago. Well, he got introduced today as the new coach of the Longhorns, so the big rivalry there in Texas. And it's gotten some attention because Schlossnagle gets asked about the opening and if he was connected to it after the game the other night. That's always touchy. You're talking to a coach after losing a national championship game, and it's sensitive, and I get it. And he kind of jumped down the throat of this reporter. And then, 24 hours later, he is the head coach of the Longhorns. And a lot of people, Jess, have kind of equated it to Lincoln Riley, his exit from Oklahoma. And I think it was after they played Bedlam, and they lost, and then he gets out. I think Lincoln's name, you can probably help fill in the blanks on me here, but I think Lincoln's name was associated with LSU and USC, and Lincoln kind of poo-pooed it, and then 24 hours later is the Trojans head coach. I know it's never easy to skip from one to the other, but this Jim Schlossnagle, he handled this thing about as poorly as you can. I mean, one, jumping down the throat of a reporter, and then leaping to your arch enemies 24 hours later. It's a bad look for him.
Oh, it got real messy, and especially because he was at TCU and left TCU, go to Texas A&M. Now it's just he's making is Texas Tech next?
Yeah.
But it got real messy, and with Lincoln Riley, it's so tough, the timing of all of it, right? And Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma they were still playing to get to a Big 12 title game, and it was right after Bedlam, and his name was just being circled around the LSU job. So he was asked specifically about LSU, and he said, no, I am not taking the LSU job. But the next day, he's out to USC. So he was not specifically asked about USC, so I guess he technically didn't lie. He said, I'm not going to LSU. But, just the way he could have been kinder about how he handled it. I'm not answering that question right now. But there's been a lot on my social media. It has just been nonstop of some bad things, some bad stories. It sounds like maybe recruiting was already happening, and just some things that were not done by the books. And I get he's playing for a national title at the College World Series, but you could be a little bit kinder about it. You could, I don't know. It's just the timing of that job being open and Texas A&M being in the College World Series. But Texas doesn't care how it's handled. No. Come on over. But it's just kind of soils a really special run for the Aggies to get to the College World Series, and now here they are. But there's a lot of salty Texas A&M fans, that's for sure.
Well, the rivalry is intense enough as it is. Now, a handful of the A&M players went in the portal today, probably going to follow Schlossnagle to Austin and be a member of the Longhorns baseball team. There's even reports today that Schlossnagle was using a burner phone to recruit for Texas while he was in Omaha coaching A&M. Man, that to me, that is absolutely crossing the line. And I sympathize with the Aggies in this. And I mean, this guy's really muddied his name. And there's a lot of people in college baseball that are not big Jim Schlossnagle fans to begin with. This may just cement that. But, a lot of similarities to Lincoln Riley. I was covering Kansas basketball when Roy Williams was kind of at the end of his run at Kansas, and they played for the national title. And I believe it was Bonnie Bernstein was the reporter that got to go interview Roy. They lost, I believe it was Syracuse in the national title game. And she asked Roy outside the locker room, Coach, I hate to do this, but your name is popping up for the North Carolina job. And Roy goes, I could give a flip about North Carolina. I'm the head coach at Kansas. And then, of course, 3 days later, he's North Carolina's head coach. So this is always an issue. It's always a problem. But coaches need to be, if you're going to put yourself into that point, and it goes back to what you just said, prepare yourself to handle it better. Like, I'm not answering that tonight. Tonight, this is about A&M and these kids. I'll deal with any kind of speculation of that stuff later. Tonight's about me wanting to finish my job this season with these particular group of guys.
Yeah, I mean, look, those rumors happen, and they're asked about it all the time. These coaches, when their names are circulating, and Yeah, a lot of people blame the reporter, but that's the news that was going out there. I think it was the reporter from Texas Ags, and the editor from that publication said, we had very good sources saying that it was happening. We wouldn't have asked that question had we not had a pretty solid foundation of knowing that that was about to happen. And it's where we're at. You have to know, that your name's being circled around. Both those coaches that were playing in the championship series, their names were being floated around. You know that you're going to get asked about it. Just don't be hateful about it. Don't flat out lie. Just like you said, I mean, you can spin it in a way where, I understand you have to ask that question right now, but this is about this team that I'm celebrating with tonight, and we'll address that tomorrow. Simple as that. You just don't have to, flat out lie about it and make it sound like you are Texas A&M through and through, and then, less than 12 hours later, you are back in, you're in orange, burnt orange.
The burnt orange.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah. I can't imagine how the players on the A&M team, not the ones that went in the portal today, but the other ones going, man, I believed in this guy. I trusted this guy. I followed this guy, and this is how he exits. I mean, what a bad example for young student athletes. And we put them up to a higher standard. We want them to act a certain way. And then the adults in the room pull this kind of shenanigans. So it's a really bad look. And I understand the coaching carousel, and coaches want the next big thing. They always think the grass is greener at some other place. I get all of that. But if you're going to put yourself in that spot and you're probably going to be leaving, have a little bit better prepared statement on what you want to do. And so Nebraska's former AD certainly got a mess on his hands down there at Texas A&M. Hey, we got a heck of a show lined up for you tonight. Jordy Bahl, going to get an update from her. Jess had a chance to catch up with her earlier today, get an update on her health status, how's the recovery coming, about the future of the softball program, which looks so bright. Talk about the portal. Rhonda Revelle has done some damage in the portal for Husker softball over the last month or so. So we're going to hear from Jordy coming up here in a little bit. Speaking of an injury, guy coming off an injury, we're going to hear from Isaiah Garcia-Castaneda. Yeah, he's still here. Been here a couple years. We haven't seen him play a lot, Jess, but he's still here. We're going to hear from him coming up an hour or two.
And I chatted with Garrett McGuire last week, and he raved about IGC and the work that he's done coming off the knee injury. And, I mean, you remember last year, he was somebody that was going to play a role, and then it was a fluke injury. It was Minnesota. It wasn't like he can't stay healthy, and I was actually asking IGC about it, and, Billy Kemp got pushed into him, and then he got rolled up, and so and it was the first game of the season. So he's come off of that injury. He has put on some weight, gotten faster, and so again, Coach McGuire just really raving about the job that Isaiah Garcia-Castaneda has done. And you'll remember he was a GM of the Nebraska Football Spring League. And so, kind of stepping into a leadership role as well. But he's always a great interview. So, yeah, we got an update on him and how things are going for him.
It's burned in my mind, that great catch he made in Dublin for I think it might have been our first touchdown of the year against Northwestern, and you're like, man, this guy is going to be electric. And I remember going to camp that August and going, I love the way he runs routes. He's going to be a big-time help. And then he gets hurt shortly after the Northwestern game, and then last year the season gets cut short again. Those kind of guys I'm big fans of because they keep getting back up off the deck and coming and fighting for more. And those kind of people, whatever athlete that is in whatever sport, I'm a big fan because that takes a lot of internal fight to keep getting up. I want some success for IGC, and hopefully that happens. We'll hear from him.
And Greg, it wasn't even just that he was hurt. I think he did tweak something, but then remember he was not on the team, and then he came back and had the conversation with Coach Rule.
That's right.
When Coach Rule came in, and Coach Rule's like, no, we want to give you a chance, and then he did everything right. From when this new coaching staff got on campus, they just could not speak any more highly of the way that he carried himself and handled everything from January to the season. And so I know that they love this guy and they want him to be successful. So hopefully, he can come off that injury and stay healthy. And because it's a group that they've got some talent, and you brought in the transfer guys, but it's a pretty young group. So to have a veteran guy that's been around and understands Garrett McGuire, I think will certainly help this offense and the wide receiver room.
You're right. When the kind of the end of the Frost era is when he decided to leave the football team. And credit to Matt Rule to go, you know what? Kid comes, knocks on my door and wants another chance. Why not? Give the guy a shot. So I'm a fan of, if that's not obvious already, I'm a fan of IGC. Husker fans, go check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Get signed up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks, pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Hy-Vee is an official grocer partner of Husker Athletics, and they are your one-stop shop for making your life easier, healthier, and happier. Visit your local Hy-Vee today. We're back to hear from Jordy Bahl. We'll do that next.
Did I forget something?
No. Just wanted to tell you I love you. Oh, don't forget to buckle up. Drive safe.
I will. Love you too.
Someone is counting on you to buckle up. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
If spring allergies keep you trapped inside, then you need Navage Nasal Care to keep you breathing clearly and enjoying all the beauties of spring. Navage helps clear nasal passages that are often clogged because of seasonal allergies. Navage gently flushes a pure, refreshing saline solution through your nasal passages to clear out congestion, sucking out that springtime pollen and other irritants trapped in your nose. Navage is available online at Navage.com or in stores at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Make this the summer of Jeep when you shop at Woodhouse Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. Right now, sign and drive on a 2024 Jeep Compass lease for just $299 a month with $0 down and $0 due at signing. Your trusted Jeep dealer since 1991. This is Woodhouse. 42 months, 10,000 miles per year with approved credit. Tax title license extra for well-qualified returning lease customers. Retired courtesy vehicle. Stock number BC240554. Offer expires 6/30/2024. See dealer for details.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here. I feel better already.
The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Wednesday night. Hope you had a great day today. A little cooler outside today, a little bit more manageable to go out for a walk. And for anybody who has to work outside, I'm sure you enjoyed a little 10-degree respite from the 110 heat indexes that we had the last couple of days. Jordy Bahl, boy, so much attention around her. So tragic that she got hurt in the opening game of the season for the Huskers this past year, but she's been rehabbing, getting herself worked out, and in maybe some ways we'll look back on this year as a blessing. Earlier today, Jessica had a chance to catch up with her.
You think about it's almost a year ago. We were sitting down in the studio having a conversation about you making the decision to come back to Nebraska, come back home. How do you feel different now a year later?
I don't know, man. It's funny because every year, like since college, it's like I get to my sophomore year and I look back at my freshman year and I was like, who was that kid? And now it's like I'm in my junior year looking back on my sophomore year and it feels so long ago, but it really wasn't. It's just crazy. I think being in college athletics, like so much gets crammed into 1 year that it's like you look back at the last year and you're like, that was only a year ago. But yeah, it's been crazy.
So had the injury, unfortunately, at the beginning of the season. How are you doing? How's the progress going? You've got a lot of fans that are curious how you're doing.
I'm doing good. I'm in the strength building phase right now. So 4 coming up on 5 months. I'll be fully cleared like mid-October, so I got a ways to go still. Kind of in that point where starting to feel good, starting to do a little bit more skill work, pushing off a little bit when I pitch, probably like 50%. But still got to take it slow. So being patient is one of the biggest things right now still.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, I talk to a lot of athletes that a lot of times at this point it's just being patient, not pushing yourself. Has that been a challenge for you to, hey, we got to just do what my body says right now?
Yeah, it's funny. It's like as I come back and I'm slowly getting back into pitching, I want a pitch count. And so I reach that pitch count and it's like, I still feel like I could go a little bit more. And then our athletic trainer is like, that's good. That's where you should be. You don't want to like max out right now because that's when it can get dangerous. So just trusting her. She's awesome, Marcia. So it's been really nice to be able to just fully trust her.
You know, there was just so much going into you wearing the Nebraska uniform that first game, and then you go down with the injury, but you handle it just like you do with everything else, just with such grace. What went into you being able to handle everything when I know it had to be really disappointing as a competitor to have that injury there at the beginning of the season?
Well, it was kind of funny because, like, I didn't realize what had, like, the results until I got back to the United States, because that happened in Mexico.
Yeah.
And it's like, at first I was starting to think like I was going to be fine, because it's like even the next day after it happened, like I was starting to get more mobility back as the day went on, moving around, put weight on it. I was even jogging. So I'm like, okay, like maybe I just hyperextended it or something, like it's going to be fine. And then I got the results. And at first, like this all happened within a span of 30 seconds. I was angry. And then like 2 seconds later, I was like, okay, so I'm redshirting. And like just accepting that fast is like, well, this is the cards I'm dealt. I'm redshirting. And then it was, so what do we do next? Like when surgery, like all that happened. So it went from anger to, okay, well, this sucks, but this happened, and now what next? And honestly, after that, there was just a wave of relief, honestly, because just mentally, like the last 2 years before that were just so draining, because just the pressure, the expectations, coming home, like that caused a lot of noise, and just at no point did I ever step back and just exhale. And so that was kind of God's way of saying, here's your exhale, you don't have a choice. And so honestly, thank goodness, because I wouldn't have exhaled if it wasn't my call, you know what I mean? I'd still just be going crazy. So there was a big just wave of relief with that too, because it's like, yeah, this sucks, but I can't do anything about it. So I could either sit here and think about how bad this sucks, or I could truly use this for the rest that I've just been like looking for so long. It's like even in coming home, like the brain never slowed down. So just taking a step back.
Yeah, absolutely. Great perspective. You did get to put on the uniform though. Mm-hmm. How was it wearing that Nebraska uniform just for that, even just that one game?
It was cool. It was special. And even after I got hurt, I still put the uniform on. Just, you never know when the last time's going to be. So some people were like, oh, why are you suiting up? Like, are you going to get out there soon? And I was like, no, not at all. Like, not the whole rest of the season, but like putting the uniform on because, like I said, you play for 4 years and then you're done. So just put it on whenever you can.
I talked to a lot of the players throughout the season, Sydney Gray, Billy Andrews, and Sydney Gray was one of the first ones, and it was coming off a weekend where you didn't get to travel because I think you had the surgery, and she said just how much they missed your presence and your leadership, and what was your approach to that, knowing that you were coming in, but you did have some relationships with some of the players, but being able to establish that presence and leadership really right out of the gate, it seemed like.
I made that a big goal of mine, was to still like feel like I was making an impact. But honestly, it was hard because it's like growing up, like I was always taught, like if you're a leader, like you never try to take your teammates somewhere that you're not going yourself. It's like you can't push anybody harder than you're pushing yourself. And so it was kind of hard and a different approach, sitting on a bucket in the dugout. But that is such an important part of a team too. And so I guess learning to just embrace that, how to be the best there as possible, that was something that was pretty fun to do and be a part of.
You were all a part of the celebrations. I think some people were like, whoa, 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 easy on the knee when you're celebrating some of those home runs. But the way that the red team continued to battle and fight throughout the adversity over the last season, how much pride did you take in that, just being able to sit back and watch that and the way that they continued to fight throughout all last season?
I think it was huge. It's like, I think I was the first player to go down, but then like as our season went on, like in like a month later, we had a couple more girls out. And so I think our team just had to take this mindset of, yep, these are the cards we're dealt. Next woman up, we still got to keep going. Like, we can't panic and freak out. Like, this is what's happened, and either we can get down about it or we could just bow up. And so I think as we continue to try to just have that mindset and embrace that, that was huge for our team. And you saw a lot of girls step up, especially upperclassmen who this was their last year.
Did you, besides getting the breather and the exhale, did you learn anything? Were you able to take away just being able to sit back and watch the game from a different perspective last year?
Yeah, I realized how much I do actually love softball. And that sounds so funny to say, but you know, like you get to college and it's softball, softball, softball. And at one point, and even just like growing up, like in high school, it's just a lot of softball. So I think I got kind of burnt out. And I got to a point where I was like, man, like I love softball sometimes and sometimes I hate it. And so just watching from the sideline this year, I would say I had this, like, my nerves, like those butterflies, they started to come back, and I would be at warm-ups, and it used to take like a huge game, like sellout crowd for me to start to feel that like hype nerves. But we'd be warming up, nobody in the stands yet, like just starting, the music's going, and I'm like starting to feel it, and I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to get back out there again, because I love playing with that just fire. And sometimes I felt like it was there, sometimes it wasn't, but I know it's going to be there when I get back out there, so I'm really excited.
I love that. Coach Ravel, you go way back with, you have had a relationship with for a long time, but being in her program, being coached by her, seeing how she operates a program now that you're in it, was there anything different? What did you learn about her? What did you come to appreciate even more about her over the last year?
I'm just kind of thankful that I got the opportunity to get to know Coach Ravel without being on the playing field this year, because relationships are really big to me. And just getting to know her and appreciate her. Like, I want to be out there on the field, you know, ready to go to battle for my teammates, but also for my coach, you know. And so just getting to know her and appreciate her has been really cool. And it's hard to do when, like, it's strictly business all the time. And so there have been times this year where I got to just chat with her and it wasn't strictly business because, you know, like, yeah, business goes on as usual, but at the same time, it's like I could just get to know her more personally. So that was really cool. She cares a lot. She's Husker through and through. You know, she's been here for 30-plus years. I don't know if anybody cares more than she does. So I really just love that about her, and she brings it every day, whether she's having a good day, bad day, if she slept 2 hours or if she slept 10 hours, which rarely ever happens, she's going to show up and be Coach Ravel. So you always know what to expect with her.
You been to any of her cycling classes?
No, I haven't. No.
I did.
I'll stay away.
Yeah, she's a treat to go through that one.
I bet. I could not imagine.
You want to talk about high energy. You know, just when a year ago, and you talk about how much you love Nebraska and coming home, and now that you've been here for a year, how much have you loved it? I mean, and being able to be back home.
I loved it just as much as I've always loved it. Just nice being able to hang out here all the time and not have to leave. I don't know.
You know, for all the young girls that have been able to, you know, see you up close and get to know you being back home, What's that been like? How cool has that been, just to, again, being able to have that, being a role model for so many young girls in the state?
That's been really cool, and I think one of the coolest things about being injured and then just also being back home, like you said, getting to interact with the Nebraska little softball players of the state, is that like a lot of girls, they watch throughout season and they all watch the World Series, and that's like the highest of highs in your college career. But what they don't see is the several of low points that go on right before that. So kind of getting to share my experience with them, several of them going through the same experiences, whatever kind of adversity it may be, but kind of like being able to show them that this is a part of it, but you got to push through this too and able to reach those high points. So that's not the message that they receive all the time. Like, they just want to be at the highest of highs, but there's so many lows come with that. So it's been cool to kind of be able to use my platform, I guess, to help girls navigate those parts of the game as well.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so Nebraska softball has made some huge splashes in the transfer portal over the last month or so. Man, what's your perspective on that, and this coaching staff being able to bring in some really great players to help you guys out this coming softball season?
I am so excited about all of our transfers. Obviously, when new players are coming into the program, like, you want them to check the physical boxes, and all of these girls are great ball players. They're athletic, they're strong, they're powerful, they're good at what they do. So obviously those boxes are checked. But what I'm so excited about is the mentality that they're bringing to the table. Every single one of these girls, as I've talked to them, have said they want to win and they want to do just whatever it takes to win. And they want to be around like-minded people. So that's a winning culture right there. And so I'm just really glad to be able to play with these girls. And a lot of them, like, I'm going to go out with them. Like, a lot of them have 2 years left. So I'm like, this is perfect. So I'm really excited to build relationships with these girls and go, like, just turn that mindset that they're bringing in to just our team's mindset overall. I think it's going to be huge. They're going to play a huge role.
A lot of them, too, have some kind of Nebraska tie, too. What is it about, growing up a fan of this program, it's drawing you back and you want to be a part of it?
I don't know. It's funny. Like, it is crazy how, like, so many people's roads somehow lead to Nebraska, whether it's extended family here, they grew up playing here, they lived here. Like, I don't know. It's cool. It's kind of crazy, but it's fun.
Another thing that came out recently was the Nebraska ranks #1 in attendance for women's sports and soccer, softball, women's basketball, and volleyball. What do you make of that? How much pride do you take in that, again, this fan base shows up for women's sports here at Nebraska?
It's cool. Obviously, like, we've known Nebraska's had great fans for a really long time, and how many consecutive sellouts for our football team, like, I don't even know. It's probably getting up to 400. I don't know. But it's just cool that these fans are now, their interest is being drawn towards women's sports, and volleyball has been huge for that. But I don't know. People are starting to realize that women's sports are competitive. Women athletes play with passion. Like, it's fun to watch. And I think a lot of people watching the College World Series see that too. Like, I've heard people say that, man, the Women's College World Series is sometimes more fun to watch than the Men's College World Series. And I don't know. Like, yeah, it is. So it's just cool. I don't know.
Last thing I got for you, just, how do you approach just going into, again, the rehab process and then getting this team together and doing what you guys need to do to set the tone in the fall and leading into the spring?
We're just really trying to take it one day at a time. I think we can get caught up in hype of what everybody thinks, like, oh, based off our speculations, based off of the power of our transfer portal girls coming in, like, we should be this, this, and this. And it's like, okay, well, there's a lot of people writing checks that they don't have to cash. So I think it's great if we're talking about that, like, amongst ourselves, because we're the girls that are going to go out there and make it happen. But as far as just keeping the blinders on and taking it one day at a time, that's going to be, I think, huge for us. Personally, with my rehab, that's my goal. Like, I can't look at October and expect myself to be at October now. Like, now I need to be able to feel on time, snappy release at 50%. And then it's going to be like 60, then 70, 75, building up. But just keeping the blinders on and taking it one day at a time is going to be huge for our team.
Greg, I loved what she said about, at first she was angry, but then she realized that this provided her a chance to sit back and breathe, that it was such a whirlwind. There was so much pressure and dealing with all the expectations at Oklahoma and the national championships and then transferring and just there's just so much that went into it. And this forced her to have to take a step back and take a breather and regain some perspective. And she's like, I realize I really do love this sport a lot, and more than I maybe realized at times. So, I think she's approached everything from the start just with such an incredible perspective and grace and all of that, but I just could not be more impressed with how she responded coming off that injury when, there's a lot of hype, a lot of excitement with her wearing that uniform, and it could have been really upsetting, but she's used it as a positive, and I mean, boy, they're putting together a heck of a team around her for sure. Yeah, they sure are. And again, I thought this a while back. This could end up being a real positive for her. And sometimes you need to breathe a little bit and take that step back, and it adds perspective to you. And I think she's down that path right now. And so it's exciting. It's going to be a fun spring for Husker softball, and they're going to be so competitive, and can't wait for that season to get here. As we kind of say with a lot of sports right now. And Camden had it in the ticker, the Learfield Cup standings, and Nebraska's first top 20 finish in almost a little over a dozen years. So there's just a lot of good momentum within the athletic department right now. So great to hear from her, and good job chatting with Jordy right there, and good to hear the update from her. Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. All right, back with more of the show coming up.
Woodhouse Chevy brings you 2 convenient locations in Omaha and Missouri Valley. Lease a 2024 Chevy Blazer EV for $349 a month for 24 months, 10,000 miles per year at our Omaha location. Together, let's drive with Woodhouse Chevy. With approved credit, first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Must have current GM or competitive make lease to qualify. Must have current Costco membership prior to May 1st, 2024. Must have select Conquest vehicle registration to qualify. Offer expires 7/1/2024. See dealer for details.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you can use that money towards going to see your favorite team in the playoffs. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can go see your favorite team in the playoffs. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but we cannot guarantee that your favorite team will make the playoffs or even finish with a winning record. They could easily lose more than half their games and finish in the cellar because they stink badly and haven't made the playoffs in years. Savings? Very possible. Playoffs? Highly doubtful. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates, not available in all states. We cannot be held liable for your favorite team's terrible and frankly embarrassing performances now or ever.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trail-Tamin 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option, it's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. Find yours with Ford F-150. Gas, hybrid, or all electric. Whether it's towing, powering up, or getting from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, what you choose to do with that much power is up to you. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Interested in working at Memorial Stadium on Husker game day? Then join us at our in-person hiring event. It's a staff draft on July 10th and 11th. We're hiring ticket takers, ushers, parking staff, and much more. Come to Memorial Stadium and join the Husker event staff. For more information and to get pre-registered, please visit huskers.com/event staff. I know a lot of people have done that for years and really enjoy that. So I would encourage you, if you got some free time, maybe you're recently retired and looking for something to kind of occupy your time and something to keep you busy. That's those folks, I think, have a pretty good time doing some of that. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Wednesday night. Sports Nightly here on middle part of the week. A couple people have sounded off on the Texas A&M talk that we got into. Jim in Columbus said, I was definitely rooting against A&M because you know why, but feel sorry for the players who trusted a coach in a sport. Bad deal for the kids and the men. I think that's probably pretty accurate for that. And Greg in Lincoln said, is it any different how Trev left Nebraska than the A&M coach left Texas? Yeah, I think that's different. I mean, Trev left in the middle of an academic year. I mean, ADs, they're not coaching teams per se. I think the shock value of Trev leaving was certainly something, but I don't think it was the way, I don't think he denied going somewhere and then 24 hours later went somewhere else. So, Greg, I'm not sure about that. Greg, also appreciate the thoughts about having me back on the program. So
I think with the Trev deal was just that he's a Husker, and you thought that this was it for him, and, you know, just how much, I think that was more shocking because it's not like Schlossnagel is a Texas guy, right? I mean, I think it's a different shock value. I don't know if you can compare, but I think it's, a lot of people thought he was a Husker, he wore the uniform, that he was here, and I think with Schlossnagel it was more like that it happened and he said, no, I'm here, I moved here, I'm however years old and I want to be here, and then, you know, jumped down the reporter's throat, and then it was less than 12 hours later he was like, oh, I'm out, I'm going to Austin. So it was just different, I think, shock values with the two. Yeah. So, Greg, I kind of see where you're going with that, but I'm not quite sure I'm on the same page with that. I want to go back to Camden's thing in the ticker about the Directors' Cup and Nebraska's finish in this thing. And, there was a lot to be proud of, Jessica, for the last 12 months. And it really got launched in the fall with, obviously, volleyball having the undefeated season till late in November and winning the league. And I think, to me, and we talked about this before, the soccer kind of coming out of nowhere and winning the conference and making the Elite Eight got the year off to a great start, and then it kind of continued in the winter with both basketball teams making the tournament and Mark Manning's wrestling team doing so well. So it's just a really good year to be proud of. And so I hope all Husker fans realize, and I know football didn't win, and that certainly sours a lot of things, but there was so many good things that happened over the last 12 months. Yeah, really, really. For sure, and I know that they're going to do a fun fan vote coming up here as we close a chapter on this athletic year before we get into next year, and maybe do a fan vote on some of the top moments in Husker athletics. But we had a hard time narrowing it down to 16, but there are so many great moments. There were great team finishes, the Big Ten titles, 5, the most since when, and just the individual performances and the record-breaking performances, and you had some court storms. They're just, definitely got to appreciate the accomplishments over the last year. And what's great about, I think what's been established is that most of those athletes and teams, they had some great moments, but it's not good enough, and they want to build off of that. And it's made them hungrier and even more motivated. And it seems like the women's basketball team getting back in the gym, and the volleyball team coming off the national championship match, everybody seems to be hungrier to go even further than what they did, and a lot of them had some really special years last year.
Success breeds success, and honestly, it's what's holding football back. They've lost the feeling of winning, and they've lost, and that's Matt Rule knows that's a challenge. He's got to reteach them how to win, and he was so frustrated last year after the 0-2 start that everybody was panicking. He's like, it's 2 games, we got 10 to go. But that's a big hurdle. That program has got to relearn how to win, and that is I think going to be the key to this fall for that team and that program, is to kind of learn that magic formula again about making winning plays late. So many of our other programs have done that, have crossed that threshold, and now that's football's big challenge. So the Huskers finished 20. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, look at softball. That's a team that went through so much adversity, but how many times did they come from behind and win? And then once you do it, it's like, oh, well, we can do it every time, and it doesn't matter. As long as there's one pitch, we're going to get it done. And they just had this belief. And so, football needs to get to where they can get over the hump and win a couple of those close games, and then it just snowballs. And then then you believe next time you're in that, there's no doubt in your mind that, oh, well, we just did it. We can do it again. So, they got to get over the hump and get one, get in the win column in one of those close games, and then, it's amazing what that can do.
You're down on that sideline. You see that body language, and I'm sure you pick up on it. You're like, oh, everybody's going, here we go again. And you hear it because we've been burned so much for the last 7 or 8 years. Now, a lot of these kids haven't been in the program that long, but I know you sensed it down on that sideline last year. In certain moments, you're going, they expect the play to go against them.
Yeah, and just, you could just see sometimes like, oh, great, here we go again. And I know that's the coaches were challenging them, like, hey, we're all right. We can get this done. And but it's you've got to train yourself to get over that and work through it. And sometimes it was a mistake made by the team. And hey, we can't harp on that. We've got next play. We got to move on to the next. And sometimes it was a bad call. There's just a lot of things but you cannot dwell on that, and you've got to work through it. And that was a lot of the messaging with the coaching staff. Like, hey, we cannot just get hung up on this. We got to keep moving forward. We're all right. And so, you just that flip has got to switch. No, the switch has got to flip.
There you go again.
Yeah, I know. I can't ever remember it in the moment, but the switch has got to flip, and when it does, hopefully it stays on, and it just got to happen multiple times. And like I said, it's a snowball effect. It's amazing what can happen, and the confidence, when that confidence kicks in, and you can keep building off of it.
And that's why I love the schedule. Finally, 4 straight at home to begin. Last year playing 2 back-to-back roadies. Are you kidding me? What an unfair thing for Matt Rule to have to jump into. The ability to get off to a good start, build confidence. Confidence is such a big part of it. It's there for this football team, and I can't wait for it to get going. Husker fans, go check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Hy-Vee, they are the official grocer partner of Husker Athletics and your one-stop shop for making your life easier, healthier, and happier. Visit your local Hy-Vee today. We're back to put the wrap on Hour 1 next.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
A few drinks at home after work, a couple of hits at a party with some friends, over-the-counter drugs for a minor illness, a new daily prescription, and you're not quite sure how it makes you feel. It doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If it impairs you, driving becomes deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already. The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Folks, our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Final few minutes of Hour 1. Coming up on Hour 2, Isaiah Garcia-Castaneda and college sports writer Ross Dellenger was in Lincoln today. Jessica caught up with him. We're going to hear that conversation. He covers a lot of that stuff that is hard to put into, like, transfer portal,
the revenue share, the NIL.
Yeah, tough stories to dive into.
Yeah, the new legislation, the settlements, all of that. And there are a lot of people that put out a lot of things and that have a lot of opinions, but I've been told that basically Ross Dellenger is the guy that if you really want to know, he's the one that's really got the pulse on all of it. And so he was in town today. He was gonna get a tour of the new facility, chat with Coach Rule, and I know he's got a longtime relationship with Troy Dannon, and he's going to be a part of an upcoming Place episode, the Place episode that's coming up, that they're going to focus on NIL and all of that, and how that's evolved, and how the Huskers are trying to stay at the forefront, and just how it's changed and all of that. So I got a chance to, I interviewed him for that episode, but then I got a chance to pull him aside and dive into a few other things. So just, again, has a great knowledge on a lot of different things, where college athletics where it's headed. Are we going to a super league? Is college football going to be separate? All of that. He's got a good pulse on all that. So a great conversation with him. And I know, he was going to take it all in today. And I said, get ready. It is massive and it is breathtaking over there in the new facility.
Yeah, I can't wait for the public to start to see it. That's going to be a ways down the road. They'll eventually open up some doors for you to come in and see that, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. Some of the moving process is still taking place over there. Football's in, comfortably in, going, and Matt Rule last week said the one thing he doesn't like is that his office is like clear at the end of one hallway. He liked where he was in the old office because he was kind of centrally located and the guys would always walk by his door. He said, now I got to kind of seek him out a little bit because I'll be able to deal with that. Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your term. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Well, what a fun hour. Jessica and I can still do this. We don't need the big dog around.
Yeah.
It's good, right? We're good.
We're a well-oiled machine. We're already in mid-season form.
No doubt. Got Camden and Cole holding their hands. We're good. Back with Hour 2 next.
Experience the difference and save more when you shop at one of our 3 convenient Woodhouse Ford locations. And right now, it's more affordable than ever to get behind the wheel of a new vehicle when you visit a Woodhouse Ford dealership. Going on now, save up to $10,000 off MSRP on the 2024 Ford F-150 Super Crew XLT with approved credit, $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 7/08/2024. See dealer for details.
Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sap Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sap Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sap Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sap Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
Husker fans, springtime in Sharpe County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSharpe.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Good evening. I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the 1890 Initiative. Earlier today, the final Learfield Directors' Cup standings were released. The Directors' Cup shows how strong of a year an athletic department had by giving points to each sport depending on where you finished. Nebraska placed 22nd overall, its best finish since a 17th place showing in 2010, and it's the second straight top 30 finish for the Huskers. Nebraska was one of 5 Big Ten teams in the top 25, joining Ohio State at 11, Michigan at 15, Penn State at 23, and Wisconsin at 25. Nebraska had 7 programs record top 10 finishes this past year, including volleyball, women's soccer, bowling, men's gymnastics, rifle, wrestling, and women's outdoor track and field. Husker baseball pitcher Brett Sears earned another accolade today as D1 Baseball named Sears a second-team All-American. The second-team All-American honor is the highest by an NU starting pitcher since Aaron Marsden in 2003. And finally, the NBA draft begins in just a few minutes from the Barclays Center as the Atlanta Hawks hold the #1 pick in the draft. The Wizards, Rockets, Spurs, and Pistons round out the top 5. The draft can be watched on ESPN. Our sports ticker is sponsored by the 1890 Initiative. Do you want to support Husker student-athletes through name, image, and likeness? If so, visit 1890nebraska.com. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Here come the Razorbacks, bumping over the left. Gillen, she's stopped. Rick Allen, block number 11 for the Team 16. They're body bumping in Lincoln.
Dillon turns, hands it off to Dowdell, left side, bounces to the outside, 40, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Dante Dowdell.
Shelley throws down low. Markowski kicks it out to Jazz, knocked away by Marshall. 7 to shoot, 6 to shoot. Shelley for 3. You betcha! Huskers take their first lead of the game with 30 seconds left.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Breaking ball outside corner. Make it an even 10 for McConaughey, and the Hoosiers leave 2 more here in the top of the 7th.
Now the 3-2, and Bretwell swings and hammers it deep center field. She's gone! Home run, Eva Bretwell, and a 2-0 lead for the Cornhuskers.
Tominaga with 9, 8, 7, starts down the right side, goes to the right sideline, 4 seconds, step back, 30-footer. Got it! Unbelievable! I don't believe what I just saw. Tominaga knocks it home.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are, back hour 2, Sports Nightly on a Wednesday, and I hope you had a great day today. You're getting really close to another summer weekend, and for a lot of people, including the network, it's going to be a very slow next week. In fact, we're going to play some greatest games next week. We're not going to have a live show next week. We're going to turn the lights out on the studio for a couple of days. So if you're going to be looking for us, we will, after tomorrow night, we'll have our next live show on July the 8th. So let us catch our breath and get ready for another exciting upcoming season for Husker sports. But so next week, some games. Is it all games, Cole, or do we have a night of just some interviews?
I believe it's all games. I would look getting the mic.
It will be all games. On tomorrow night's show, I'll announce kind of what we have slated.
Good. I'll tell Jeremiah he'll have to be quiet for a couple minutes so you can do that.
I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. So that's our plan, folks, for next week. So after tomorrow, next live show, not till July the 8th. I feel bad for the folks in the chat room. I know you're going to be probably missing each other, but we will be back on July the 8th. John Cook tweeted today a little update on the horse naming competition. He said he's had lots of questions on the meaning of the names. Cash equals win cash in ropings. Okay. Rev is a Zach Bryan song revival. And we know that he's a huge fan. He was very jealous that Matt Rule got pulled up on stage and he did not. Ship going to the championship match. That makes sense. And I called this to you guys last night. Rip is the tough guy who gets it done in Yellowstone. So those are the final 4 names. And so he laid out what that's going to be. I think Ship might win. Jess?
Yeah, I can see that. I wonder if he actually has like a favorite or if he's totally good with any 4 of those names. But yeah, I can see Ship winning.
Yeah, I mean, he loves to talk about we're playing for a ship. And first time I heard that 4 or 5 years ago, I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, okay, championship. Okay, gotcha, Coach. Isaiah Garcia-Castaneda is a wide receiver for the Cornhuskers who has flashed some nice ability. He's battled some injuries, left the team in Scott Frost last year, knocked on Matt Rural's door and said, I want another shot. They brought him back. They've liked him. And Jessica had a chance recently to catch up with IGC.
All right, well, how does it feel to be back in this uniform?
It feels really good. It's been a long time. New number, kind of feel like a new me in a positive way. So I've put in a lot of work up to this point, going through the whole rehab process, but finally feels good to know that this fall is coming up soon. So
I visited with Coach McGuire, and he said you are like a completely different person. He didn't even recognize you put on a lot of weight. You're running really fast. Can you take us through when you attack the rehab and then you start building on that? What was your goal? What were your goals and your approach to it?
Yeah, initially it was hard. It was really hard, obviously, just with the way everything happened with the injury. But I kind of just went in with the mindset of just trying to control what I could control. And this January when we started winter workouts, I just wanted to put my head down and just start making strides for myself individually and come back, a completely different, stronger, bigger, physical receiver. So, I was able to put on 10 to 12 pounds of muscle, sitting at 198 now, just trying to get used to that weight and still keep my speed and physicality. So, I just overall wanted to go into this season just as if I was never injured in the first place and like a whole new wide receiver.
How do you go about putting on the weight and maintaining the speed? Like, how did you go about accomplishing those goals?
I give big props to our strength staff, Coach Campbell, Coach Hobbs, all those guys in there, and then our training staff as well kept me healthy through rehab and stuff like that. So they, program everything up for me, and, I just put my head down and go to work. But, those guys, they definitely look out for me and, have everything from day one of the injury happening to up to now. They have everything set out for me to follow.
Throughout the season, on the sideline, you're on crutches, but you're coaching up some of those young freshman wide receivers. You were still very much involved on the sidelines. Why was that important for you to continue to be a part and be involved?
I think part of it, just with me being a little bit of an older guy in the room with a little bit more experience than some of those freshmen at the time, I think it's important to kind of be, that second set of eyes for them on the sideline when they come back and, give them, pointers here and there and just keep them sharp. But, I think overall just the experience kind of helps, because the game, when you get older and the more football you play, it slows down for you. So, it's good to be able to have, somebody, when I was younger, older guys always talk to me and help me through stuff. So I kind of just wanted to make sure I was that type of guy for them.
When I talked to those freshmen, throughout last season, they all credited you guys and the older guys for helping them along. How proud were you of the way that they were able to come in and step up right away? Yeah, no, that was huge. I mean, we have a mentality in the receiver room, like it's next man up, regardless of the situation. So, football games are going to continue to be played. So it's one of those things that, you have to just trust your training and trust, everything you've learned from the coaches to just off of each other, because I think we learn a lot off of each other and just, it's big time, moments, but they stepped up and made big time plays. Coach McGuire's a huge fan of yours, obviously. Now that you've been with him for over a year now, what are some of the biggest things you've learned from him? How much have you enjoyed being coached by him?
I've loved it. Like I said in previous interviews before, he's one of the smartest coaches I've been around. He's, a genuine players coach. So, I've just learned, just how to work from him. He's got a great work ethic. He's taught me, just a lot about myself, even just, he brings the toughness out of us and just like a extra level of work ethic. So I love that about him because he's, he's always ready to go and he gets us fired up and stuff like that, So it's easy to play for a coach like him.
You were a GM over the spring for the football league, the Nebraska Football League. Tell us about that experience. What did you take away from that? Yeah, it was pretty fun. SP, he came up to me, Elliot, and Deshaun and kind of
shot us the idea of, the spring league and stuff like that. And at first we were kind of like, okay, we'll see how it goes. But it ended up being pretty cool, able to make, trades and transactions and kind of see things from a front office point of view and stuff like that. But I think it was really cool because it brought out a lot of competition amongst the guys throughout spring ball. So it was really fun to see and be a part of.
You were looking at offense, defense. I know you guys are making trades throughout it. So give us some names that maybe we're not as familiar with that were impressive throughout the spring.
That's tough. Honestly, when the spring league, came about, it seemed like everybody's level of play and competitiveness went through the roof. So I think everybody, played good, and there was a lot of guys, too many to name to, point out just a few that were, balling during spring, but it was fun.
That's a GM quote right there. You're not going to single anybody out.
It's true. I'm not lying while I'm up here. Like, there was a lot of guys, everybody was competing, so it was cool to see.
What kept you just, grounded, motivated throughout a tough process when you come off the injury and the season opener and going through this whole process? What kind of, kept you pushing through?
I think obviously the support system we have here with the staff and my teammates, and then also my family played a big part in that. I'm really close to my parents and just grandparents, all my family. So being able to have them, throughout this whole process and not feel like I'm going through it alone was big. So, they've kept me motivated. And then just I kind of use, personally, a piece of motivation for me is kind of just thinking back to like 7-year-old version of myself. And, I try and make, little version of myself proud and accomplish the goals that, I had set out since I was really young. So just trying to control what I can control and continue to be, the best football player that I can be.
You became known for your long hair. It was a process. We talked to you about that. What went into the decision to cut it?
Honestly, it might have been the injury that ended up leading to that, because when I had surgery, I had gotten it braided because I knew I wasn't going to be able to really maintain it like I would have wanted to after surgery. And then probably a month after surgery, I was like, yeah, it's got to go. Like, I was getting tired of it. I kind of wanted a fresh start. It was tough to maintain with how long it was, and so after Thanksgiving, I just chopped it off and kind of just wanted a fresh start. So I don't think I'll be growing it out that long again, but it was cool while it lasted.
That's awesome. What were some of the things you took away just from last year, being on the sideline, the injury, working through all of that?
I think the biggest thing is, like, it can be taken away from you in a second, you know what I mean? So not taking the game for granted, and now that's something I've been focused on now is, like, even though, it's still hard going through, trying to get through these last few months of rehab and finish, the healing process and stuff, like, I'm thankful now to really be able to even do what I can do, because I know I couldn't do this, a month ago, 2 months ago, 3 months ago. So, yeah, just having the game kind of taken away from you in a way like that is tough, because it's out of your control, but it definitely makes you come back a lot stronger mentally, physically. So, yeah, I'm just thankful to, be kind of getting back into it again, playing football again.
For this time of year, I know you guys can be on the field a little bit with coaches, but for the wide receiver group as a whole and working with the quarterbacks, how important is this time to continue to build that chemistry? Yeah,
I think it's really important, especially going into this next month. We'll have a lot of player-led practices and workouts and stuff like that. So just being around each other a lot and just continuing to build the chemistry on the field, off the field. I almost think off the field is more important than on the field, because you create such tight bonds with guys outside of football that it makes it so much easier to play with them when you're on the field, because you develop a genuine love for each other. So I think just being around each other and getting to know each other more and more every day and just getting those reps in on the field it's key.
What you guys did last year and what you were able to build, and then coming into this year with so much talent coming back, and then the additions. What's your excitement level for the potential of this football team?
I'm super excited. I think we have so many weapons, so many great resources. A great coaching staff. I don't see why we can't accomplish what we want to accomplish. We just have to put the work in. So it's not going to be easy. It's obviously easier said than done, but I think, we're definitely a motivated team with, all the tools that we need to get to the end of the season, get to whatever game we want to get to. So I think it just comes down to just putting the work in.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Again, just awesome perspective. And, we talked about Jordy earlier and turning it into a positive. And he really attacked his rehab. You could tell, you could see if you were watching on the stream. I mean, he looks bigger. And, we've heard that a lot. And I know that was one of the things that Corey Campbell said when he met with the media about we've gotten bigger, but we're not losing any of the speed. And so that's now Ramir that we talked to. Was that last night or a couple nights ago?
Last night.
And then
Yep.
Isaiah that have come off injuries and that have gotten faster and bigger. And so, he's just, I go back to, again, what we were talking about in the first hour about how he had walked away from the team, went back, talked to Coach Rule. Coach Rule said, hey, come back on. And he took care of business. He's done everything right. And the staff has just said nothing but glowing things about the way that he's approached everything. And so I know Coach McGuire is really excited about the process that he's made. And hopefully he can step in there and, again, stay healthy and provide a weapon for these quarterbacks.
I think that room's sneaky good. I really do. Banks and Nair, those were great additions out of the portal. But, I mean, how can you not be excited about Jalen Lloyd and some of the things he did last year? Jakari Barney did some amazing things in the spring game. I just think that room is sneaky good. And if we can protect and block and whoever wins the quarterback battle can be pretty accurate, I think this offense can take a nice jump forward. At least that's my hope. Great conversation there with IGC there on the Husker football team. Folks, if problem gambling is burning up your money, there is a way out. Help is free and confidential for Nebraskans and their families. No judgment, just help. Visit lifeafterbet.com. All right, when we come back, Ross Dellenger, who writes for Yahoo Sports, was in Lincoln today. Jessica caught up with him to talk about a myriad of topics that are hitting the college sports world. We'll get into that conversation next.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already. The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
Husker fans, springtime in Sharpe County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSharpe.com.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trailtainment 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraskachiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. Find yours with Ford F-150. Gas, hybrid, or all electric. Whether it's towing, powering up, or getting from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, what you choose to do with that much power is up to you. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hey, Mom. Yeah, I got in a crash. I'm okay. I was wearing my seatbelt.
People count on you to buckle up. Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Husker fans, springtime in Sharpe County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSharpe.com.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Wednesday night. Full show tomorrow, best of on Friday, and again next week, a greatest games week for you as we turn the lights out of the studio for 1 week and then back with shows coming up on July the 8th. Huskers report on July 30th. First practice, July 31st. Folks, it's going to be here before you know it.
Where did June go?
No kidding, right?
The 1st of June just happened, and now it's already over. The month is over.
Well, I mean, we've had so much fun with the big dog and JB coming in there, and I mean, you know, and you were doing swim lessons. I mean, it's a big month.
I know. Just flew by.
Yeah, time does that. Jessica, earlier today, had a chance to catch up with Ross Dellenger. He's a writer for Yahoo Sports, covers all things college sports-wise, and here's part of that conversation.
Okay, well, it's been crazy few months. How has it been? Have you slept? What's it been like just kind of covering all of this, the news over the last few months with college athletics?
Yeah, it's a wild time to be a reporter in college athletics, right? There's so many changes happening, so much transformation. And, you know, I'm used to, I got into this to cover touchdowns and field goals, right? And I'm covering court cases and congressional legislation. So didn't expect to be in that position, but it's been fun, and it's kind of historic. You know, you're covering one of the more historic transformational times in college athletics.
So how did you get to that point where you did become the guru in all of this?
Well, you know, I do kind of sort of have a news background, and I've always drifted toward the interesting kind of off the field topics. And what also helped is I live in Washington D.C., right, where a lot of this is happening at a congressional kind of level, and so that's helped through the process. And yeah, I've just kind of gravitated toward it. You know, I tell myself a lot, and you know, I'm covering history with each one of these transformative type of changes, and that kind of keeps me going a little bit.
If for our listeners and viewers, for a college sports fan, I guess, what's the single most important thing that they should know moving into the future of where we're headed?
Well, that nothing is ever stable, right? Like it's such an unstable time in college sports, and it doesn't show many signs of slowing down. I think you always have to be on your toes. There's always changes, whether it's conference realignment or some kind of new legislation or a new court case and litigation. Changes are going to be continuing for several years. I don't necessarily see a stabilization in sight, so which is good and bad. Depends on where you sit.
Where does Nebraska stand in being able to move forward and be in a good spot with all these changes coming?
I think any school that's in the SEC or Big Ten, because of the money coming in from TV deals and ticket sales, donations, is in a good spot, because obviously schools are going to start directly paying athletes and sharing revenue with them. In order to do that, you have to have revenue, and the more schools that have it, right, the more of it, the better team you should be able to field. So those programs in the two top leagues have an advantage. So Nebraska, with the fan base it has, the passionate fan base it has, the donor base it has, should feel pretty set, especially now in the Big Ten with the $1 billion TV deal. All those things help to be able to field a talented team.
You've put out a lot of stories, not just on NIL and the revenue share. What's been, like, I guess, the single most interesting, fascinating story or element to all of this that you've written on or covered over the last few months?
Well, just the obviously back in February, the Big Ten and the SEC announced that they were forming basically a partnership. And I think that dynamic where you have two leagues that are very high resourced and more successful than others are getting together and maybe even threatening to leave everybody else. And that's kind of what's happened this spring and summer with the college football playoff situation that happened there with the distribution and with the format. And then you move on to the settlement. It happened there. It's going to happen in the governance level of NCAA, where basically the top two leagues or the top four leagues are threatening everybody else in a way, maybe nicely, to say, we want more of the money that we generate. We want more of the rulemaking power. And so you're seeing them kind of grab more of that authority. And that's kind of been fascinating because it's kind of all blown up. It was building up, and then it's like a volcano kind of erupted this spring.
You have a previous relationship with Troy Dannon. You've known him for a while. Why is he a good leader for Nebraska throughout this time? Yeah, I like to say, there's 80s out there that kind of get where we are, where college athletics is, where it came from, where it's going. And Troy does get it. And he's got a long history of being a part of a lot of these changes, legislative changes, NCAA changes. He was on a number of NCAA committees, well respected in the room. And he is one of those progressive voices in college athletics who doesn't push the what's coming aside like many maybe do, but embrace it. What's your perspective of Coach Matt Rule, and his potential to get this thing rolling here with Nebraska football?
Yeah, I visited Coach Rule when he was at Baylor. That the year they won like 11 games, and sat down with him and spent some time in the facility. And it's amazing how he interacts with people. He's such a people person and kind of a player's guy. That I think everybody knew when he came back to college athletics, or when he was looking to come back to college athletics, that he was one of the better coaching options out there for somebody, that he was one of the better candidates out there, and that anywhere he has been, he has had success, even like a place like Temple, right? Like he's had success kind of in every stop. So I would have guessed with the resources of Nebraska, the fan base up here, and the history, that he'll have plenty of success here too.
Last thing I got for you, just for our fans here, they're like, oh, college athletics is going away, or it's going to a place we don't want. What's your message in terms of that, and just where college athletics is and where it's headed, and especially with Nebraska?
Well, it's not going away. It's okay. And if you look at the TV numbers and viewership and even attendance, it's as healthy college football, at least, as it's been. And women's athletic goes all the way down. Women's athletic, softball, volleyball, women's basketball. It's as healthy as far as viewership numbers and TV deals and things like that we've seen. All that stuff is setting records. So none of these changes off the field seem to be impacting really fan interest in the game on the field, and I don't expect that to slow down.
I said last thing, but you're here at Nebraska. You're going to get a tour of everything. What's it like for you to come and be here in the stadium?
Well, it's great. I got 78 degrees and sunny out in almost in July, so it's been a great shift from coming east where it was 100 degrees. But yeah, it's good to be here. Excited to see the new facility. This place is set up when you combine the passion of the fan base with the resources coming in from the Big Ten to win and to win big.
Greg, Shane in the chat said, I bet this could have been a 2-hour conversation. It absolutely could have. And, I said this earlier about there's just not very many voices that actually have a pulse on really what's going on and how this thing is unfolding. And Ross is certainly one of those. And he is constantly the first one to break the news and to have the quotes from a bunch of different people that are in college athletics and embedded in college athletics. But he's going to be a part of the Place episode, the next one that's coming up, that's going to focus on NIL and just the revenue share and all of that, and where Nebraska is positioned in that regard. But it was also one of the things that we talked about too, is just the Title IX aspect of it, and that is really one of the things that it's got to get figured out. And with women's sports, and when you're talking about the revenue share and how you split it, and they're probably looking at a lawsuit either way. So that is really, I think, one of the big areas of concern, and trying to figure out what are we going to do with this across the country, college athletics, because that's one of, I think, the big holdups at this point of how are we going to navigate this with Title IX and sharing that revenue.
It's changing every day. You've got your head's on a swivel trying to keep up with all these new changes to college sports. And I talk to so many people that just don't like the direction of where it's going. And I'm kind of in that camp, but you got to hang on. And if you're Troy Dan, you can't bury your head in the sand. You got to kind of roll with the times in this whole thing. And it's just, God bless guys like Ross who have a passion to cover that. I don't have enough patience probably in me to do that. I'd rather cover the games and the athletes and that, but it's incredible how much college sports has changed over the last decade, and I can't imagine where we're going to be in 10 years. But guys like Ross will help kind of show the map for us and show where it's going. So great stuff there. Good to hear from him, and welcome to Lincoln, Ross. Hope you have a good time while you're here. Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Back with more of the show. We're going to pull both Camden and Cole into the next segment. What does Greg have on his mind? Oh, come on back and find out.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails. Dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the Trailtainment 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Get ready to rule the field and revolutionize your farming game with Valley, the game changer in irrigation and ag tech solutions. With time and labor-saving measures, ground truthing results, and effective input reduction, Valley provides the perfect game plan so you stay ahead of what's in the field. From the best in irrigation and cutting-edge ag tech solutions to personalized support, Valley is your winning team. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Discover the entire lineup of luxurious sedans and SUVs at Genesis of Southwest Omaha, like the powerful and thrilling Genesis G70. Plus, right now, lease the 2024 Genesis GV80 2.5 Turbo for just $499 per month. Start your car buying journey online at southwestomahagenesis.com today. 24 months, 12,000 miles per year with approved credit, tax, title, and license extra. $5,999 down plus first payment and $299 doc fee due at signing. Stock number GG240279. Offer expires July 1st, 2024. See dealer for details.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks. Foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Dear roads, trails, and rivers, you ready for some SUV action? Toyota SUVs can roll their sleeves up for tight turns and twisty trails, dress up for a night out on the town, or head to the great outdoors. Take your family adventure game to a whole new level with the roomy Highlander. Make a serious splash with the rugged, revved-up RAV4. And tow all your toys in the spacious new Sequoia. Don't forget the trail-taming 4Runner and the sleek Venza Hybrid. All Toyota SUVs feature a whole suite of creature comforts to keep you and yours cozy in the cabin. Check out this legendary lineup at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
Husker fans, check out the all-new Hy-Vee Perks program. Sign up for the totally free Hy-Vee Perks program and enjoy exclusive perks pricing on hundreds of items in-store and online. Score big savings today at Hy-Vee.com/perks. Hy-Vee, they are the official grocer partner of Husker Athletics and your one-stop shop for making your life easier, healthier, and happier. Visit your local Hy-Vee today. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you. Camden Cohn and Cole Hartman also part of the program tonight. I'm pulling everybody on tonight. I have alternative motives. But also, Cole is here with an announcement. Mr. Hartman, you've got some news in your world, correct?
That is correct, Greg. So with seeing as we're going to be coming up on a couple of replay shows here, and tonight and tomorrow night are our last two technically live nights. Yeah. I'm going to be moving on here from the HRN coming up pretty soon. And so this will kind of be my last week and my last farewell to all you listeners, viewers in the YouTube chat, people who text in, sometimes tell me my jokes are great or not so great. But thank you all over the course of my time for tuning in.
And you got one more. You'll be here tomorrow night. So
That's right.
You better go out with a bang tomorrow, Cole.
Yeah,
Better, tens across the board.
There will be a lot of effort going into tomorrow nights.
Well, I'm always happy for folks when they move to a different job. All I can say to you, Cole, is you have been unbelievable to work with in your time with us. You picked up a lot of the workload over the last 12 months. We could not have done this without you. You have been an invaluable member of the team and just so easy to work with. And we're going to miss you around here. We're going to wish you luck. You're moving to Omaha. You got a job up in Omaha, so you're going to the big town. And I wish you nothing but success. And I know you're going to be. That's the kind of person you are. But we're going to be sad to see you leave.
Thank you so much, Greg. I appreciate it.
And we made Cole do this tonight because I am not going to be here tomorrow night. And so I also echo everything that Greg said. But Cole, you and I have been through some stuff, and you have carried me at times that I did not know if I was going to make it. Oh my gosh, I'm going to cry. You've just been so great. And you were a student, you took over, you stepped into a role that I don't know a lot of people would have done and would have handled so well. You're so positive. You make things fun around here. We're going to miss you. Run the boards for us on our football broadcast and just have taken on so much. And we're kind of wired the same way. We're perfectionists and want to do everything, so well. And so I just, man, I just cannot thank you enough for how much you've helped me over the last year. And we've had some fun. And I know we'll still see you around, but it's definitely going to be sad, but we're so happy for you, and you've got big things ahead. You're one of the smartest people, one of the most brilliant people I've ever met, so you're going to do big, big things, and so I just thank you for all that you've done for me, and best of luck. And so it's a little bittersweet, but we're so happy for you.
That's really kind of you to say. I appreciate it. It's been, listen, with you, Jessica, Greg, all of our talent, everybody here is a tremendous person, both behind the mic and then off the mic. They are the same person, and everybody here just carries themselves with such high character, and it's been a great privilege.
Folks, I can't put into words the monumental task that was put in front of Cole 12 months ago when we had some staff changes here at the HRN, and instead of shying away from the challenge, he took it on and he made us better, and that part is going to be really missed by Cole. And so the contributions have been immeasurable for you, but I'm excited for you too, because I know this is a new chapter and a new challenge for you, and you're the kind of person that's always kind of looking for that next challenge. So best of luck to you. My motive for bringing everybody in, Camden, I think, has got a mic. Are you
Yes, he's here. He's here.
All right, we only have one more show before the 4th of July. I want to know what everybody's kind of 4th of July menu looks like. What do you like to eat on the 4th of July? Are you a hot dog person? Are you a fried chicken type person? Do you like chips and dips? Camden, what's usually kind of around the Cone household on a 4th of July weekend?
Hot dogs? Nathan's hot dogs?
Not Nathan's hot dogs.
No?
We go to Hy-Vee, and we get those brat patties that they have.
Oh, yeah.
So, they got some really good brats, and so we get the brat
Love
patties
brats.
since they're skinless. So we grill a bunch of those up, some chips, usually some sort of dessert. It just depends on the year, but usually that's kind of the staple, and then you kind of venture away with a couple random things each year.
Potato salad, baked beans, any of those kind of things on the table?
Not really. I
No?
mean, some salads, more fruit.
Yeah.
We're a fresh fruit.
Fruit? Oh,
fresh
yeah.
fruit family, so.
Good fruit time of year, no
For
doubt.
sure.
Cole, what's on the Hartman table on the 4th of July?
A lot of the same as what Camden mentioned. For whatever reason, every 4th of July, there's always a glass plate of Scotcheroos, if you know those. They're the Rice
Love
Krispies
'em.
with the
chocolate top.
Chocolate on top. That's a go-to.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's a lot of the standards: cheeseburgers, hot dogs, all the good things.
Jess?
Well, you know me. I'm not a big
I know.
not a big meat eater, but I like chips and dip. Obviously, that's
Yep.
always great. There's always an assortment of that. But I think you guys can agree with me. My mom makes some of the best sugar
Yeah.
cookies. In my opinion, I think they're the best sugar cookies, and she always makes 4th of July themed sugar cookies, or every holiday, but I always love the sugar cookies and the chips and dip.
4th of July is just such a fun time to be outdoors because everybody's outside, whether you're doing a fireworks show or not, and it's always fun. I'm a baked beans and potato salad and hot. I like fried chicken on the 4th of July. I like to dive into that and go with that, and obviously chips and dip, and then there's usually a dessert spread with brownies and the Scotcheroos. That's a great call, Cole. Love those things. Those are stable at most of the places I'm at. So. Shane, no, not really a big oatmeal raisin guy on the 4th of July. I am normally, but I kind of go higher than the cookie realm. I go to the brownies and the Scotcheroos on the 4th of July. But anybody a coleslaw person? I'm not a big coleslaw. Camden, you coleslaw guy?
Nope.
No, I think that's either yes or no. I don't think there's a gray area of coleslaw. I'm not a big coleslaw person.
Hey, so when all the breaking news and we had the full basically show talking about Nathan's hot dogs and all of that with the drama there.
Yeah.
Searle said he would do some hot dog eating. So we might need to make that happen tomorrow for tomorrow night's show and challenge him to see how many hot dogs he can eat over the course of 2 hours.
Oh my gosh. Really? He would do that? That is so
I mean, if there's a way to cook them and bring them in, you can see what he can do.
That is
He
so
said, what
unhealthy.
did he say? Like he could eat probably 25?
Yeah, I thought he said 30.
Yeah. Look at Greg's face.
I'm appalled by that he would do that to his body. That is awful. I got to talk to him.
Yes.
I got to talk to him. I love the chat. They're all popping in what their 4th of July fare is. It's so fun. We generally hop to a couple of different parties, and I love walking in and kind of seeing what the different spreads are. So just wanted to get a feel for that. Camden loved it. Loved that. Get the idea. Even worked in the sponsor. That's really well done.
Yes, look at that.
I tried.
He's hired. He's hired. Intern of the year. Hey, I think we should let Camden say what Cole means to him. Because Cole trained you over the last year, too.
He did. Yeah, I mean, I came in knowing absolutely nothing, like most of the other interns. And then, I mean, he really had to train us because some of us didn't know what. I mean, there's a ton of buttons on the board, as I'm sure everyone knows. But there's like 40, 50 different buttons, and you got to know what each one means. And obviously, means a lot that he was able to train us. And that's what's going to stick with me for sure. Because, I mean, I'll be here through the end of the year, hopefully, at least. So I'll try and carry on Cole's legacy.
By the way, Greg, you see that text? Jim in Columbus says, don't let it go to his head, but Camden looks like Conway Twitty.
Do you even know who that is?
No, I looked it up, though.
He's a country music. I'm not even sure he's alive anymore, but yeah.
What's his big song? He has like a number. What's his?
He does. Oh, he was a big star in the 70s and 80s.
I know. What's his number one song?
I don't know. So somebody will bing it and we'll have it for you in the next segment. Cole, again, congratulations. Good luck to you. We're going to miss you, but we will have one more joke from Cole coming your way tomorrow night. That was a great segment. Sharpe County, where hey, great food. We're just talking about that. Drinks, shopping, concerts, fun. It all awaits you. Stay, play, and plan your getaway at GoSarpy.com. Keep those food items coming in for the 4th of July. I love it. We're back to wrap up tonight's little ditty next.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. Find yours with Ford F-150. Gas, hybrid, or all-electric. Whether it's towing, powering up, or getting from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, what you choose to do with that much power is up to you. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus $1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hi, this is Husker National Champion and Super Bowl champ Tony Veland. Throughout my football career, chiropractic care helped my athletic performance on the field and kept me in the game. Today, regular chiropractic care keeps me healthy and active to do the things I love. Chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages. Make chiropractic your first choice to reduce pain, improve your mobility, and feel better naturally. It works for me, and it can work for you too. Learn more at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic.
Husker fans, springtime in Sharpe County means sports and outdoor activities. Catch an Omaha Storm Chasers baseball game or a Union Omaha Pro soccer match at Werner Park. Visit Fontenelle Forest, where you can enjoy tree rush adventures or hike and bike on one of the many trails. Play a round of golf or experience great fishing. Relax, refresh, and rediscover yourself with a springtime trip. Plan your adventure at GoSarpy.com.
For farmers, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. And at Valley, we feel the same, delivering game-changing technology and irrigation solutions that advance agricultural productivity, with the results to prove it. From our leading irrigation technology to expert advice, you can always rely on Valley to bring out the best in your farm. At Valley, productivity isn't an option. It's everything. Visit your local Valley dealer or valleyirrigation.com today.
Hey, the Akrs Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. I'm chuckling on the Conway Twitty. And by the way, he has passed. Hello, Darlin' was one of his big tunes. He was, I think, married to Tammy Wynette. They were like a country power duo, but I see it. Jim, I do. I see the resemblance with Camden, but I just would never have made that connection.
You said that's the tweet of the night. That might be the tweet of the week. But, hello, darling. I thought you were going to bring us back into this final segment singing some Conway Twitty, Greg.
Yeah, that would have broke the radios, so we probably wouldn't want to do that. Carla said, so sad to hear you're leaving Cole, but not surprised that you're moving on. What will you be doing in your next chapter of life? Are you ready to? I'm not sure you're ready to announce that yet, are you?
Maybe on tomorrow night's show. I'll give that.
What a good teaser.
Who could maybe start thinking about Cole's joke of the week? Could maybe step into that segment?
I will say Duke did handle it 1 week.
Yes, he did.
He passed with flying colors. So.
And Duke's back after the 4th, right? Duke's out in California.
I think mid-July he'll be back.
Okay.
You're going to have to tell Andrew Dowdy that, I didn't even cry when he left, and I almost cried with you, Cole, so I'll have to let him know.
I got him beat. Sounds good.
Well, again, it's just been an amazing 12 months. You've been here longer than that, but you've been in that big chair for the last 12 months, and you've just done an incredible job for us. And so much happens on this network behind the scenes, and we hope we point out those guys and the help of Camden's and David and Duke and all those guys, Henry, that have helped us out the last year, and obviously Russ. And so great stuff there. Tomorrow night, the big dog is back. I got to get into this hot dog talk with him. I cannot believe it. I'm kind of disgusted by that, but we'll get into that chat with him tomorrow night. We'll also going to hear from Justin Evans, who, by the way, has eliminated Jenkins from his name. It's just now Justin Evans, offensive lineman, very versatile. Jessica, I know you had a chance to catch up with him. We'll play that in your absence tomorrow night. We'll look forward to that.
Yes, and I think maybe another newcomer interview, right?
Yep. Because you are working during the day. You're just going to get out of tomorrow night, so we'll maybe a basketball interview or two tomorrow night. Also, we believe that there's close to an announcement of the next Hall of Fame class for Husker Athletics. Maybe we'll have something on that for you tomorrow night on the program as well. How's the draft going? I haven't even looked on the draft. Anybody from the Big Ten go yet, guys? Or the number one pick was from France.
They're back-to-back France, then Kentucky, UConn.
Wow.
G League, Ignite, France,
no
UConn.
No Big Tens.
So France and UConn taking over the draft.
How about France? How about where'd that come from? Last year's number one pick was from France. It's crazy.
You think that maybe they'd put together a national team that would be pretty impressive at the Olympics, or at least down the road.
They ought to be pretty good. You're right. I'm not really locked into this. I will be in the MLB draft in a couple weeks. Brett Sears, second-team All-American today by D1 Baseball. Brett doesn't have any leverage because he's a senior, but he may go pretty high. Josh Caron looks like a 4th or 5th rounder. Drew Christo could get picked, so we'll be, I think, more locked into that draft because there'll be some Huskers that'll be coming off the board during that draft. But a lot of that happens during the day. We'll be able to recap it on Sports Nightly. All right, big news of the night. Cole Hartman's going to be departing the network in another week or so. We do have one more live show before we turn the lights out on the studio for next week. Jessica, though, this is her last show until July the 8th, so enjoy your next couple of weeks. Go get some sugar cookies, would you, in the next week or so?
Yes, and this is going to be my first 4th of July with Sunny, and so we got to...
Oh, she's not going to like this.
I know. I'm not sure how she's going to handle all the fireworks, but we got to figure out how we can get her through it, but it'll be fun.
Good. Hey, Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Camden, thanks. Cole, awesome as always. Going to miss you, pal. Jessica, enjoy your next couple of weeks. We'll talk to you again on July the 8th. The big dog with me tomorrow night. Folks, have yourself a great night. Be safe.
Hi, I'm a baseball umpire. My job can get pretty stressful. I have to keep my eyes open at all times, and if I don't make the right call, people boo me. So to relax, I visit a Nebraska lottery retailer like this one and buy some scratch tickets. It always calms me down. Hey, you cut in line.
I did not.
All right, you're out of here.
Hey, he didn't cut.
All right, you're out of here.
I feel better already. The Nebraska Lottery. Top prize odds vary by game.
If there's one thing we like, it's choices. Find yours with Ford F-150. Gas, hybrid, or all electric. Whether it's towing, powering up, or getting from 0 to 60 in 3.8 seconds, what you choose to do with that much power is up to you. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
Get 1.9% financing for 72 months plus 1,000 bonus cash on a brand new 2023 F-150 only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Hey Huskers, it's a new day in Nebraska. Manzer Equipment, Mertz Farm Equipment, and West Point Implement of Columbus have teamed up as True Ag and Turf. Coach Rule is bringing innovation and high-performance standards to Husker football, and True Ag is doing the same to your farm with game-changing Fendt equipment. As Big Red establishes power on the field, True Ag and Turf does the same in the field by welcoming Fendt to Nebraska. Farming today is a combination of hard work, innovation, and partnerships to help keep us moving forward. Sapp Brothers Petroleum has provided us with fuel, propane, and lubricants on the farm for many years.
For over 52 years, Sapp Brothers has been a reliable partner to thousands of farmers across our great state. We work hard to make sure our customers have the most reliable supply, provided in the safest manner and at the most competitive price. Trust Sapp Brothers Petroleum to protect your equipment and keep your farm fueled. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics and to serve Nebraska farmers and Husker fans across America's heartland.
This is the Huskers Radio Network.